Be strong and get healthy. Stretch. Feel great about yourself and have some fun. It's time for you. Fitness is the key to your future. Don't get locked out. Take the challenge. Commit to be fit. Merry Christmas and happy holidays from Commit to be Fit. I'm Susie Smith. I hope you're keeping up with your exercises during the busy holiday season. If you need to review any of our previous shows and pick up some new exercises, check out my blog at committotobefitforever.blogspot.com, and you can get the correct spelling of that at the end of the show. Now, I know I'm always asking you to keep up with your health and keep working out, and I'm going to continue to do that. If I could wrap up fitness in a big box with a sparkly bow and give it to you for Christmas, I would. But instead, I have a special guest here today that's going to talk a lot to us about an ancient art that helps us with relaxation and rejuvenation of our bodies. So I'd like to introduce to you Nancy Zitko. Hi, Nance.
Hi, Susie.
How are you?
I'm great. First of all, I want to thank you for bringing me on.
I'm so glad you're here.
It's very nice. I feel honored to be on your show, and
I'm glad that you're here. I've been wanting to have you on the show for a while because I really think it's very interesting what you're going to talk about today.
Thank you. Thank you. As a little background for your audience, I've known Susie for quite a while. We connected through rescuing animals through some rescue centers. I used to participate in her yoga and her exercise classes at various gyms, and
we've done yoga together.
We also went to high school at the same time frame.
Yes, we graduated 5 years ago.
But anyway, it's nice to reconnect with a friend, and I am really happy to be able to support your philosophies in Commit to be Fit.
Thank you.
My past biography includes that I'm a registered pharmacist, and I've been that for 37 years. But I always took a holistic view to pharmacy, and I always felt that people should have a say in their health decisions, and that they should certainly listen to their doctors, but that you're your best advocate, and that you needed to do things to commit to be fit. So I'm excited about being here because I think the reflexology, even though I'm a pharmacist, I went into reflexology. I think that it gives you that extra dimension of being informed. It gives you an alternative to regular medicine, and it gives you some choices in being able to determine your health and your relaxation and alleviate stress, and certainly help to commit to be fit.
Well, that's interesting that you went from, that you combined the two, because some people are so cut and dry that, they wouldn't try an alternative medicine or an alternative treatment. But reflexology, what exactly is it?
Well, my tagline for my business is awaken your body through your soul. And reflexology is not a substitute for medical care. It is a complementary adjunct for better health decisions. There are several definitions of reflexology, and I like to start with saying that reflexology, the soles of your feet are a mirror of your body. And if you look at this little diagram, if you superimpose the soles of your feet onto your body, you'll see that the midline, or your spine, corresponds to the insides of your feet. The top of your toes corresponds to your head, and when you come along the outside of your feet, it corresponds to the outside of your body, which would correspond to your shoulder, your elbow, your hips, and your knees. So given the fact that your soles of your feet mirror your body, the philosophy behind reflexology concerns a couple of things. And I'm sure you're familiar with this because you used to do yoga, but the yoga principle says that there are energy zones or meridians in your body that go from the tips of your toes to the top of your head, and then they extend out into your fingers.
I've taught chakra classes before where the energy vortexes are in your body. So you're saying that you can reach those areas through spots on the feet?
Correct. The idea behind reflexology is that if there is congestion or there's a disturbance in the flow of the energy, that possibly by working on the reflex points in your feet, we can get the energy to flow, and it will help your body put itself back in balance. That theory is based on the philosophy that our bodies were designed to heal themselves, but they have to be in homeostasis and they have to be in balance. So there's the energy model of reflexology that says if you do that, if you use the special techniques to hit the reflex areas and the energy zones, you can reestablish the harmonious body. There's a
that's really interesting.
component also that there are specific areas of your feet. Once again, I talked about the inside being your spine, the outside being the external organs. The internal organs are also displayed on your feet. And the difference between reflexology and massage is that massage is usually tissue oriented. Reflexology feels that there are reflex points on your feet and your hands and your ears that correspond to every organ and part of your body, and that if you apply alternating pressure on those points, you can affect what may be going on in those parts of the body. So it also has a component of acupuncture associated with it, and you're probably familiar with acupuncture.
A little bit, not too much.
There is evidence. Acupuncture deals somewhat with the energy meridians. It also deals with the fact that there are reflex points on your feet. And the way the body is set up, and this kind of comes from my scientific background, that we are electrical.
We have a scientist on the show today. I feel so honored.
We are electrical. And if you apply pressure to those reflex areas, the stimulus goes up to your brain, comes back, and you may affect those areas of your body. There is scientific evidence that acupuncture releases endorphins in your body, and you know what endorphins do.
Exactly. Those just make you feel so good and just balance your brain.
Right, and they can get rid of pain. So
I've heard that cancer patient people use reflexology for pain control. Is that true?
Actually, there was just a published study done through the Michigan State University with the National Cancer Institute, and they documented in end-stage breast cancer patients, they could actually document that they had a better breathing potential, that they could shop longer, and that they could go up and down steps. Wow. So they got relief. I believe a lot of the hospices use the reflexology just for stress relief, but once again, being a pharmacist, they always taught us in school that pain is everybody's perception of what's going on, but the anticipation of pain makes it worse. So if you have somebody that has the possibility of getting pain and you can reduce the stress that they're going to anticipate the pain, you've probably helped with some pain relief and quality of life.
Because I was excited to read that about. I didn't realize that it would help cancer patients so much,
right?
And people with terminal illness and just regular people like myself. I'm fairly healthy, but reflexology just. I'm totally into the reflexology. I just think it's the greatest thing because it really works. And I've had some people tell me that they're afraid because people are kind of funny about their feet. Do you ever notice that?
There are some people who will not let me touch their feet. There are some people who say, I'm ticklish, you can't do that.
Does it tickle?
No. I haven't found anybody. There are some people who will get cramps in their feet, and there's a way to massage and relax that. If somebody is particularly sensitive, and it's not necessarily a ticklish, but I worked on a client's feet once, and I could hardly touch her feet because it was so sensitive. So instead of doing the normal thumb walking technique or alternating pressure, I basically just tapped on her feet. And also, if somebody is particularly sensitive, you can just hold until they get used to it, and then maybe the next session do a little more.
But it's different than massage. It's firmer than massage.
It depends on the client.
Depends.
Right. Reflexologists believe that it doesn't matter how firm or how light the pressure is. In the elderly or young people, we would use less pressure. We would do shorter sessions in an elderly person because they might be more sensitive. But
how long does a session usually take?
Once again, that's client specific, and it depends on why they're coming. People get all sorts of results from reflexology. If you're coming because you have a acute medical problem, if you have a sore shoulder and you think that it may help with reestablishing the body's homeostasis, you might want to come twice a week until it starts to feel a little better, and then you could go down to once every 2 weeks, once a month, just to maintain your body's balance. If you're coming for stress relaxation, I guess that depends on how frantic the season is.
Yeah.
So it kind of depends. And once again, I usually do half-hour sessions because a session consists of actually working on the reflex areas and also doing relaxation techniques. And I'll show you that when we put you in the chair a little later.
Oh, you're going to put me in the chair?
I am. And you're going to fall asleep.
Well, usually I drool. That's the problem. So I'm hoping I don't drool while you're working on my feet. But do you have a studio close by? Did you tell me that you have a studio in Bethel Park?
I'm privileged to work at the Unique Boutique, which is just down the road at 5833 Library Road. I go there every other Wednesday. The salon is closed, so I have full use of the salon.
Oh, nice.
And other than that, I have a studio in Washington where I work Monday through Saturday.
Where's your studio in Washington?
It's right off the Chestnut Street exit of 70. I mean, it's literally, you get off the exit and you fall into my parking lot.
Oh,
it's
okay.
1870 West Chestnut Street.
Oh, okay. And so you take appointments, people after the show, if they see your number and that they could give you a call and...
Certainly, and I also have a website. Am I allowed to tell the name?
Oh, sure, yeah, and we'll have that posted at the end of the show, too, but...
It's www.soulawakenings.com, and it's soul, S-O-L-E. But all the information is on there.
Okay.
And that would be great.
That would be an excellent Christmas present for someone that maybe someone, that has been suffering from an illness or had an operation and maybe has some issues. Right. You could work on that, and hopefully, that would give them another avenue for relief.
Correct. It is a nice complementary adjunct to medical care. As I said, it's not a substitute for medical care, but you can put it into a program to help your body in addition to the medications, the exercise, the therapy, whatever else is in your plan of care.
Well, what I find interesting is that you are both in the medical field and also, into the alternative medicine. I think you see it from both angles, so you have a good perspective of, what people actually need.
Well, thank you. I took several courses for reflexology, and I got certified this past spring. The class that I took was the Reflexology Certification Institute outside of Cleveland, and I found that to be an excellent course because they kind of brought both of those environments together. My instructor worked in a wellness facility, and he had the options to refer out to chiropractors, massage therapists, and physical therapists. And there are some things that as reflexologists we may not be able to correct. A lot of people will come and say, well, my feet hurt. It's not really a modality that is going to make your feet feel better. That's kind of a side effect, but it's a whole body experience. And if somebody comes and their feet hurt, I can certainly do a couple of sessions, but if their feet continue to hurt, we were taught in this last class that it may be that the muscles coming down their legs are what are affected and they need to see a massage therapist. Or it may be an issue with their back compressing a nerve that we can't release the tension, and they may need to see a chiropractor. So it's kind of nice that the science and the other avenue come together and you have options.
Would you like to do a demo then?
Certainly, if you're ready.
I'm ready.
Okay.
Okay, let's go. We'll do a demo, and I'll tell you today that I have a sore low back.
Okay.
So maybe you could explain like the areas that...
I can certainly do that.
That sounds great. So
okay.
We'll be right
Super.
back.
Wow, look at all this holiday program we have this year at BPTV. How am I going to find enough help to cover all of it? Oh, hey, Ghost of Christmas, George.
No, it's the Ghost of Christmas Present, Dave.
Either way, this is not a good time right now.
Why is that?
I have all these holiday programs to cover and I don't have nearly enough volunteers.
I can help.
What can you do? You're a disembodied spirit.
Remember that trick I showed you last year?
Yeah?
Watch this.
Ta-da! Wow, this could solve all of my volunteer problems. Why didn't you tell me you could do that?
You didn't ask.
Well, while I'm asking, how many of you can there be at one time?
As many as you need, Dave. As many as you need.
Maybe I'll just write Santa Claus a letter and ask him for help.
Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays from everybody here at BPTV.
Okay, we're back, and Nancy is going to work on my feet. I'm the lucky one today. And she'll show you what a mini session looks like and explain the different pressure points on your feet. You ready, Nance?
I'm ready.
Okay.
The one thing that's nice about reflexology is that it is a non-invasive treatment. So unlike a massage where you have to get completely undressed, with reflexology, we're only going to take off the shoes and socks. Usually what you do is you either lie down on a massage table or you use a recliner. I have this portable recliner that I'm going to set Susie back in, and it's an anti-gravity chair, so it takes the pressure off your back and it's very relaxing. And we're going to put a pillow under her feet. She's got these cute socks on. Look at that.
And my Sandy socks.
Santa came to visit. We're going to remove her socks. And whenever we do a session, you always do both feet, and you do all areas on both feet, and then you can go back and concentrate on an area if there's a specific problem. We will either use baby powder or use nothing on the feet. Some practitioners use a light oil, and that's acceptable also. I'm going to use baby powder. And when you do a session, there are, I think I mentioned earlier, there are relaxation techniques, and then there are actual reflex areas that we work on. First, you want to introduce yourself to the feet, and I'm only going to work on her right foot, but as I said, you would do both feet. The only contraindication for reflexology would be if somebody had open sores or they had recent surgery. If somebody were pregnant, it's probably best if you were going to work on them only if they had reflexology throughout the pregnancy, because there is an area on your foot that if somebody is past their delivery date, there's evidence that if you work on certain areas that you can induce labor. So I don't work on pregnant people. Other than that, there aren't any contraindications. So I'm just relaxing her foot and introducing myself to it. And the top area is concerned with the top of your body. The midsection is your internal organs, and this is usually the lower back and sciatica. So we're going to do a little bit of relaxation here, and then I'm going to get into some actual reflex points.
That's really relaxing.
This is how I usually start a session, is that I come up the 5 zones to try to dislodge any disturbances that might be there, and just tell the foot that we're getting ready to work on it. And as I said, most people aren't ticklish, and each person is variable as to whether they want a firmer or a lighter pressure. Are we okay with this?
This feels wonderful.
Okay. Usually we start with the top, and usually, I said we always work on both feet and we don't target areas. If someone were to come to me and say that they had a problem in their shoulder, this area around the baby toe is your shoulder area, and rather than just focus on that, you wouldn't know if the shoulder problem was because of a bursitis or something actually in the shoulder, or if it was because there was a nerve in your neck that was pinched that was coming down your shoulder. So this is the top of your head, and the shoulder area would come down this way. So you really need to work on everything, because we don't diagnose. We don't know where a problem may be arising. So we work on everything. As I said, the tips of your toes are your brain. We come down. These are your eyes, in your ears. And we use a technique which is called thumb walking, where we walk. It's called a caterpillar walk or a thumb walk or a finger walk, where you use the first joint of those appendages to apply the pressure off and on. Once again, some relaxation, just to intersperse it with what might be a painful point when I reach a reflex. Susie has pretty good feet here. Nothing seems tender. So we would work on the head area, and then we would come down
That's my
into the
good foot.
midsection.
That's my good foot.
This is your good foot, okay. We come across and catch the intestines. And you don't want to apply too much pressure. There is one, it's not a contraindication, but one thing you don't want to do is have a session an hour after you've eaten. You want to let the food get through your digestive system so that you don't create a problem. What people will feel during a session is they might feel twinges, they might feel a little bit of a pressure or an uncomfortable feeling, but it's usually very, very temporary. Some people don't feel anything. I've worked on people who have neuropathies because of health issues, and that just means that they'll tell me that they don't even know what part of their foot I am working on, but they will fall asleep in my chair. And that's kind of amazing to me, because if you can't feel what I'm doing here, it's amazing to me that I'm doing something that's redistributing the energy that you're falling asleep. This is the spine area, and we always work on the spine. If we have to do a very short session, we always make sure that we work on the spine area, because all of the nerves come out of your feet, go up into your spine, go to your head, come back down, and come back. So if there's an issue with the spine or even another part of the body, we would usually catch it in this respect. And as I showed you on that chart earlier, this is the top of your head, so these would be your cervical spine, this is your thoracic spine, this is your lumbar, and then this comes down into your tailbone. I get a lot of people who have pain in this area because that is where the sciatic nerve comes out, and a lot of people suffer from that. And some people will get results from reflexology that they can get relief from their sciatic problems.
That is really relaxing. And it doesn't tickle at all.
No.
The pressure is just perfect, where it doesn't, I think someone that is a little skittish with their feet, it wouldn't bother them.
No.
It feels very good. That feels great, Nance.
This one puts everybody to sleep.
I know, I'm having a hard time staying awake.
The effects of a reflexology treatment usually last 3 to 4 days if you're looking for something in particular. As I said, if you're coming just to commit to be fit and do a wellness program, probably once every 2 weeks, once every 3 or 4 weeks works fine. Once again, if you're coming because you have something, an issue going on, you might want to come more frequently in the beginning.
Thank you so much for doing this today. This is wonderful.
Benefits of reflexology, I don't think we actually gave you a list. You can reduce stress, and obviously there's a lot of stress out there today, whether it's emotional, physical, environmental, pollutants, toxins. Anytime you can sit down and relax.
Well, Nance, I hate to say it, but we're just about out of time.
This has been a real mini session. Okay.
I could stay here for another hour.
Okay, are we ready to come up?
I think so.
Always want to be careful when you get up that you don't get dizzy.
I'm not really ready to get up. That felt wonderful.
Well, thank you for having me. It's been great.
Thank you so much for coming on the show. This has been wonderful.
Thank you.
I sure hope that everybody tries Nancy's reflexology, because it will make you feel better. And with the stress that we have, these days, we need anything that we can get to help us with stress. So, Nancy, thank you for coming on the show.
Thanks
I'm
again.
going to wrap up the show, and I hope you come back on again.
Thank you. I'd be loving to.
It was wonderful. Well, thank you so much for joining me on this last show of the year, our Christmas show. And I'd like to share just a short story with you on one of my very favorite Christmas memories. Christmas never started at our home until we heard the knock on the door, and we fought to get to the door to see who would get there first, to see my grandma and grandpa. And this was many, many years ago. But when we'd open the front door, Grandpa would have on a suit and tie, which he always wore, but he was extra spiffy at Christmas time because he would polish his wingtip shoes, and just perfection. And we'd open the door, and my grandma, it was like opening a Christmas card. My grandma had a beautiful red coat that she always wore with a big corsage, which is why I have my corsage on today. And she had sparkling white hair and just was the picture of Christmas. So that's when our Christmas season began, when Grandma and Grandpap would come to the house. And every year I wear a corsage, and I buy one for my mom too, so that we can keep those memories. And when I put my Christmas corsage on, it takes me back to when I was little and waiting at the door for my Grandma and Grandpap to show. And I think that the corsage for me just kind of represents everything that Christmas is, and it's family. So it helps us, those little memories help us to hold people in our hearts forever, even if they're not with us this year. So I hope that you have a very Merry Christmas and keep up with your exercise, and I'll see you right back here in January, same time, same place. So don't forget, take the challenge and commit to be fit. Merry Christmas.
Thanks to your generosity, Marines have delivered Christmas to children in need since 1947.
Wow, look at all this holiday program we have this year at BPTV. How am I going to find enough help to cover all of it? Oh, hey, Ghost of Christmas, George.
No, it's the Ghost of Christmas Present, Dave.
Either way, this is not a good time right now.
Why is that?
I have all these holiday programs to cover, and I don't have nearly enough volunteers.
I can help.
What can you do? You're a disembodied spirit.
Remember that trick I showed you last year?
Yeah?
Watch this.
Ta-da! Wow, this could solve all of my volunteer problems. Why didn't you tell me you could do that?
You didn't ask.
Well, while I'm asking, how many of you can there be at one time?
As many as you need, Dave. As many as you need.
Maybe I'll just write Santa Claus a letter and ask him for help.
Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays from everybody here at BPTV.
So you've got a song about where to call for government information?
Check this out. We got the benefits and services that'll make you smile to get the answers you need. Put us on speed dial.
That is gold, Your Honor.
1-800-FIT-INFO. Oh!
Here comes the monster. The Tickle Monster.
Just imagine what a little time can do for your family. From the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.